up, guys, the cool thing is nobody else owns us. We don't have to, listen to any weird investors or anything like that. And so we're able to kind of cover and move as needed. So we can switch over here to use that distributor, this distributor. So we're able to capitalize both on our secondary and our tertiary supply chains, which is pretty sick. So hopefully that helps answer that question. Oh, and guys, with that, if things are out of stock, make sure that you're going to the Notify Me button. You're selecting the Notify Me button. That way you get an email, right, if that comes back in stock. Our sales velocity is rapid. It is rapid right now. So with that, once you get the email that it's back in stock, you gotta go click it. You gotta go grab it now. Otherwise, if you go in 2 days and it's out of stock, you can't yell at me that I emailed you and it's not in stock. I did email you when it was in stock. You just weren't fast enough. And that's the thing right now that a bunch of us are experiencing. This is called scarcity in the market. It's gonna happen. We have a large-scale conflict happening in 2 different locations on the globe, and one of those conflicts is growing as the days pass, right? So with that, stock up on the gear that you need now. Don't panic buy, don't give into the nonsense. But, I mean, if there was something to stock up on, I would definitely be I am stocking up on first aid gear. Just because, man, it is intrinsically valuable. What do you got, Lauren?
Well, we have sound on YouTube now, so
hey,
awesome.
What's up, YouTube? We love you.
Someone said
about supply chain.
Yeah, wonder what he said before. So you might just like touch again on the Notify Me one more time.
Yeah, absolutely. So we were talking about the supply chain. Guys, hit the Notify Me button. Supply chain is really challenging right now. That being said, we've got a badass team that is working around the clock to, secure not just our primary, but secondary and tertiary supply chains to ensure that orders are going out every single day. Pushed already 120 orders today. We're going to keep pushing until probably about 3 o'clock when UPS shows up. And that's just making sure that you guys have the gear that you have or that you need. I know that there's shipping delays. One of the reasons that there's shipping delays is because it is so absolutely busy right now. Whereas before the conflict kicked off, I would have, 20 red Bearfacts already built up in stock, ready to go. So I'd take it off the shelf, put it in the bin, push it out to you. Now it's a little bit different. And so we got to build that whole Bearfact, pack that whole Bearfact, and then with that, push it out the door to you, right? And so that's kind of what we're working on right now. Hopefully that gives you a little bit of context as to what we're doing. Cool. As always, guys, if you have any questions, throw them in all caps in the chat below. This is a Q&A, so this is where you get to ask me questions. I work my absolute best to give you answers as I can. And it's a transparency hour. I like to be able to be held accountable by y'all. It's good. Cover and move. That's right. I actually caught it live. Dude, I freaking love you. Taylor, are we going to hang out before SHOT Show? I hope we do. I know SHOT Show's in Jan, and I know you're probably super duper busy until then. And if any of you guys are going to SHOT Show or you have any friends that are going to SHOT Show, reach out to me. I'm going to be there. Let's link up. Let's hang out. Let's grab some coffee. Let's freaking talk about the good news. Let's try to witness to some hookers on the street. I'm down to clown. It's your boy Bob, I need a good little IFAC. Oh, bro, I got a good little IFAC for you. Don't look at that TikTok. Shh. Don't look at it, TikTok. It's not there. Don't worry. Slick kit right here, my man. This bad mamma jamma will go in a cargo pocket, also go in your back pocket on the other side of your wallet. Combat gloves, flat ETD, chest seals, duct tape, and gloves. Little blowout kit. Pair this with a tourniquet in your front pocket. You're good to go. My man, it's a great little blowout kit. So any massive bleed. How'd you start working for Refuge? That is a great question. I started working for Refuge because the father called my family out of where we were living. We were living in the south side of Chicago. I moved out here, felt called to, moved on a brother's property, and I was talking to TJ, and I said, hey man, if you know anybody who's hiring, I'm kind of looking for some part-time work while I get my feet under me. He's like, I'm actually hiring, do you want to come in and start? And I was like, yeah. So I got hired at the very base level, part-time, hourly work. I think I was making like 12, 15 bucks an hour. And with that, they saw the value in me and promoted me as such, and now I'm Chief Operating Officer. So kind of a Cinderella story, but it just goes to show if you're faithful and you're obedient to the Father, you're going to be blessed, right? And so that's how I started. And my wife also works for Refuge. Like all my best friends work for Refuge. And it's kind of the whole idea that it's a family business. And so, people who are close to the family or that we know, that's kind of where we pull from first. And unless it's, we're hiring for a very skilled position, in which case, we're always hiring based off of skill. And that skill usually is like work ethic, desire, all that stuff. That's what we're looking for.
So we had, how can I convince a friend to use a Cat 7 or soft T instead of Stinky Rat?
Data. Simple data. Put him on the clock. Put him on the clock and ask him to use a rat's tourniquet and tell him to deploy it in under 90 seconds. Or give him 2 femoral bleeds, right? Hit a timer, give him 2 femoral bleeds in 30 seconds, right? And see how he does with that rat's tourniquet. Just make sure that there's a 2-inch diameter too, right? And there's a time tab on that rat's tourniquet too, right? All these things. Guys, the rat's tourniquet, which is now the rapid tourniquet, got sued out of existence once already. They are back. The reason they got sued out of existence once, yeah, we're not gonna go into it. We're not gonna go into it. I don't support that tourniquet in a trauma application. I think it's very foolish. I think it's hard to use in an emergent situation. We have 19,000 good use cases of a Cat Gen 7 inside of GWAT alone. That's not law enforcement, that's not EMS, that's not civilian use or anything like that. That's just GWAT, right? And then off of that, you have the soft T, and the soft T has almost as much data as the Cat Gen 7, right? And so for us, I'm all about practicality and data. And so if you can show me that something works, and you can show me that something works consistently over time, I will apply it, right? Just because, like, we're gonna bet our lives to this, and so there's no pride or ego wrapped up into this. I am not, if Cat tourniquets started failing tomorrow, and I give those words no power, right? But if they started failing tomorrow, I would switch. I have no pride or ego wrapped up into it, right? And that's just because this is about saving lives, and whatever tool is best to save a life. This isn't a Ford or Chevy conversation. This is very different, right? And so hopefully that gives you a little bit of context. You can pull a lot of data for the Cat Gen 7 off of North American Rescue's website. Same thing with the Soft T off of TACMed Solutions website. You can also go to the Committee on TCCC, and you can get a lot of great data from them. JSON, the Journal on Special Operations Medicine, that's going to give you a lot of great information and data. And at the end of the day, if your friend is unwilling and unwavering to move away from that kit, have they even trained with it? Are they training with it? That's a big thing. Are you guys training with your gear? That's a big, big thing that I want to hit on. Do I have a trainer kit over there?
Yes.
Yeah, can you grab me that
Yeah.
really quick? Guys, we sell trainer kits. One of the reasons that we sell trainer kits is not because, just of Refuge training, but because it's super cool to go home and to train, right? And so in this trainer kit, you open it up right here, right? Get all this good stuff here. I've got compressed gauze, which I can use for wound packing, right? We could take a foam roller from Walmart, shove a dowel rod in the middle to simulate a bone, and then we can either stab it a couple times, shoot it a couple times, whatever, to simulate injuries. Well, then you can attempt to wound pack those injuries, right? That's a great training simulation, right? Because we need to be training these skills, otherwise they're going to deteriorate. Don't expect to put good rounds on target if you haven't shot in over a year. Don't expect to wound pack successfully if you've never done it before, right? So there's that. We also give you a naso, so you can train on that. Chest seal, so you can train an application of a chest seal, right? This is a trainer chest seal. That's why it's marked in blue. So it's a little bit less sticky, to be honest. This is a great tool for anybody to use. Just making sure that you're properly having people exhale and expel all the lungs from that cavity before you're applying a chest seal, so you don't cause a pneumothorax. Big, big deal. Blue Cat Gen 7 tourniquet. This is a Cat Gen 7 tourniquet. It's blue because it's the training color. I recommend that everybody has a couple of these so that way you have reps and sets, right? The #1 preventable cause of death in the United States is massive bleeding. It's not gunshot victims. It's not fentanyl. It's not cancer, anything like that. So if you're going to the range once a month and you're training, but you're not training tourniquet application, wound packing, and massive bleeding mitigation once a month or more, you're wrong. You are stuck in a myopic paradigm. You need to shatter it. The most dangerous thing you freaking do is drive, okay? You got a 5,000-pound missile that you're moving at 60 miles per hour while you're texting your mom about tacos. You need to train first aid, and you need to train it in your day-to-day life, right? So there's the blue Cat Gen 7, and then we've also got the an ETD, so that way you can do wrapping of any lacerations, cuts, or anything, or securing your wound packing, securing a chest seal, right? All of this comes in a trainer kit. It's super affordable. Buy one for your whole family, right? And then you guys do reps and sets. This is more important than the ammo. This is more important than whatever else you're investing in. It really is, because this could save your life. Reps and sets in this could actually save your life. So go grab a trainer kit while you can. What do you got?
Timbo Slice on Instagram, or not Instagram, TikTok asked, do you have suggestions for the best med kit for off-grid / backpack hunting trips?
Yeah, that's gonna be off-grid backpack hunting trips. So you're gonna want it small because ounces equal pounds and pounds equal pain. You want something that's capable. You're also gonna want something that has some field care in it too. So I'm gonna recommend the Bearmin 2.0. So the Bearmin 2.0 is an awesome kit because it gives you trauma capability. It also gives you some OTC and field care capability, right? So we want to be able to treat a wound in the field, whether it's a massive bleed or whether it's a head injury or a respiratory issue, whatever it could be. But like maybe you're just struggling with, a headache and you need some Tylenol. The cool thing about the Bearmin is there's also a little bit of extra space. So if you wanted to add some glucose, or if you wanted to add some like oral rehydration salts, something like that, is going to be a big deal. And then it still has your emergency blanket, which you can use for shelter or you can use for heat and all that. So definitely getting a Bearmin, right, 2.0 would be a great kit. Also, the thing I love about the Bearmin 2.0, because you'll probably put it on the outside of a pack, is that the Bearmin comes with a tourniquet stage on the outside already, right? You can add one to the Bearfac, but the Bearmin, its tourniquet is on the outside, so that way you don't have to go into your bag to go into a bag. Rather, it's on the outside of your bag. You can pull it, deploy it, put it on, save or stop the bleeding, and get it going. So need red Medkit recommendations, or do you put them together?
Dude, hold on. Can we just pause really quick? All these shortened words and acronyms. I was like sitting here thinking, like, what the heck is RICO? RICO?
Like a RICO case?
Like freaking! Oh my gosh, Michaela did that to me the other day. She used 2 letters. She sent me something. It was for real. She put like FR or something like that, and I was like, FR.
You didn't know FR was.
Dude, I'm 36, so I guess I'm like I've officially adulted.
Yep,
like
you're full adult.
I'm
now.
full adult. Like my brain has gotten to that point. So
Haley, yes, we do put the kits together for you. So we've got a variety of different kits for different things. We have everything all the way. We have a boo-boo kit for mom, right? We've got like desk kits for teachers, all the way up to SEAL team operational medical packs, which is like a full field hospital on a backpack, right? And so if you're wondering what kit would be good for me, we have a quiz on our website. At the bottom it says which kit is best for me. Go ahead, click that, take the quiz. We put a lot of time into that quiz, and that's gonna redirect you into a couple of different options, right? Depending on if you have a family, if it's just you, whatever it may be. You also asked, do y'all provide training? Yeah, we actually just finished 2 trainings here this last weekend. So Sunday and Monday, we had 10-hour courses as to how to stop the bleed, and then some scenario-based training as to like how to mitigate blood loss, right? Really awesome. We don't have any more classes this year. We'll have some more classes posted for next year. So keep an eye out for that. If you ever have questions or anything, or if you have a bunch of people that want to learn and you want to do a private class, reach out to me, bob@refugemedical.com. I'm your guy. If there's something I don't know the answer to in this organization, we're probably not going to figure it out because I don't know who would. But hopefully that answered your question.
what size bottle is that?
What size bottle is this?
I think it's 32 ounces.
32 ounces, 1,000 milliliters, right here, 2 units.
Hey, Iridium Group is in the house.
What?
And he said that he needs like 20 or so of the trainer kits.
You need 20 trainer kits? I got you, boo. Text me. I got you. You know me. I'll hook you up however. That's the Snowbird. He's my man. Just Haley, grab one of their kits and attend some of their training. These guys are amazing and super knowledgeable. Thanks so much, Ford Holster. Ford Holster's awesome if you're trying to get a holster that's not made by crappy Chinese pieces of crap. Looking at you, TikTok.
So Timbo Slice, what you had responded to his off-grid backpack thing.
Yep.
He said that would be great. I haven't had any training since my ALS class before my last deployment in 2009.
Oof. So your ALS in 2009 probably taught you the ABCs, which is unfortunate because that's what we taught back then. And so that was airway, bleeding, and then circulatory. That's an issue. We don't teach that anymore. We teach the S-March-E algorithm. The ABCs was a protocol. We don't follow protocols inside a trauma emergency because then people make mistakes. We work algorithms. Algorithms are different because that allows us to identify problems and move fluidly in the situation. So S, scene safety. M, massive bleeding. A, airway. R, respiratory. C, circulatory. H, head injury, hypothermia, hypovolemia. And then E is going to be everything else, but we teach expose, evaluate, evacuate, right? And so those are kind of the principles that we teach here, right? And I do think that a good bare min would help you and serve you a lot. Guys, don't forget we've got the YouTube here, right? So a bunch of people always ask for training. We spend a ton of time and a ton of money producing content for free for y'all because we don't want y'all to die. We're super pumped that your heart is beating and that there's breath in your lungs. We would prefer it that way. And so with that, go to the YouTube and learn some stuff and check out other channels, do research, you know. There's local Stop the Bleed classes across the country. The American College of Surgeons puts them on all the time and they're awesome. Use those resources as well, you know. There's other training organizations. Just because we're not training right now in this season doesn't mean that you shouldn't go get training. You absolutely should. This isn't like a brand loyalty thing. That's not what I'm about. I'm about y'all living, right? And hopefully you see that that's an integrity move on our brand's part, that we're not like here for profit, we're here for people. If we were here for profit, we would have went into oil, right? Or we would have went into, you know, whatever Ukraine needs, but that's not our jam. Our jam is making sure that the good people of the United States have what they need to endure the coming struggle. That's what Wrangler Star calls it, the coming struggle.
Hey, speaking of that, about the YouTube videos, something that we wanted to ask today, I don't know if you want to hit on that, is like, what is something that they want to learn? Because we're trying to diversify our content right now.
Yeah, guys, what are you into on the content? So, you know, Keith and I, we put out a video last week about what we're carrying in our truck right now with the heightened security measures in the country. And a lot of people seem to really resonate with that. They enjoyed that video. And so we've got a couple more coming out about how do we increase the security at the office, right? Now, obviously, we're not going to share everything that we do because that would be kind of dumb. But we can give you some tips and tricks as to what we're doing to kind of increase our security, make sure we're a little bit more proactive, a little bit more alert. What type of content are you guys looking for out of us, right? Do you want it just medical focused? Do you want it faith focused? Do you want it tactical focused? Do you want it prepping? We're super interested to know what you guys want to watch, because otherwise we're just making content for ourselves, which is kind of silly because I don't watch my YouTube videos. So hopefully that helps. And
Thermals, tips, and tricks.
yeah, so
We've actually talked about that.
Yeah, so we've talked about thermal and night vision. Maybe that's a good video that we can do, and we can kind of have a breakdown and a discussion as to like why civilians should absolutely be getting into night vision and thermal. I know that it's expensive as crap. I get it. I really, really do. Comma. The same Second Amendment that allows you to have a rifle is the same Second Amendment that allows you to have NODs. And you have to understand how heavily restricted night vision is. ITAR is a thing, and if Snowbird is still in there, he can validate this. It is hard for him to get the same quality night vision that I have up in the Great White North of Canada, right? You guys have so much opportunity for equipment here, you don't even know. You could go buy a 37 millimeter launcher with smoke. You could. You don't need anything. It's nothing special. So there's specialty equipment that multiplies your capability exponentially, right? Thermals allow you to see heat signatures in the dark. If you're searching for somebody who's lost, if someone's hurt and you're separated from your team, right? If you're trying to do positive target identification, right? Seeing a thermal signature and then being able to look at it through night vision gives you two different modes to identify a target, right? Or not a target, right? Your buddy, right? Because that's the last thing we want to do. The problem with that NV is training with it. No, I mean, yes, it is challenging, but training in general is challenging. So if you're taking the time to train during the day, like you can take the time to train during night. And there's a lot more places that are becoming open to night vision training, especially now that it's become so large in the civilian market. It's very, very big night vision overall, right? So having thermal capability, excuse me, and having night vision capability, it's huge force multiplication for you. And not just that, I don't know if you guys have ever been in a medical emergency. Bad stuff happens at night, like almost all the time. And so being able to see in the dark without letting everybody know where you are, which is huge, is a big deal, right? Because everybody has a flashlight, but that flashlight is going to illumine to your exact location unless you ground the flashlight somewhere and move away from it, right? And so being able to see without necessarily something seeing you is really, really cool and helpful.
Content-wise, interestingly enough, we had 2 different platforms with similar suggestions. So Erin, she suggested content, first aid for kids, and then over on
You gotta
TikTok.
push really hard, brother.
Over on
Have a great
TikTok.
one.
Thank you.
Let's see.
Local
Over
fire
on
department stopped them and say, hey.
where did it go? Oh, over on TikTok. I'm a U.S. soldier looking to better my first aid kit. Oh, he said kid. I saw. Okay. Kit. What do you recommend?
Dude,
So
it's, we should definitely do a video on that. Me and Heath can do a video on that, no problem. Just talking to your kids. We just released a new product. Actually, it's a new triangle
want it?
bandage. Yeah, could you grab it for me? And it's a little resource for the kiddos. It's got some designs and some writings on it. It's a bright orange triangle bandage. It's how you could like makeshift a sling, makeshift a tourniquet out of it. Now, we don't want our kids to plan to makeshift a tourniquet, but it's good for them to understand the concept of pressure and manual pressure because that's what a tourniquet does. And so they can do the same thing with a triangle bandage. But we can definitely get some more content on there about how we're teaching our kids and why we're teaching our kids, right? Because, you know, my wife sometimes will spend time at home alone with our kiddos. Well, I want our kids to be able to render aid to my wife if something bad were to happen. And so this is that new product that I was telling you about. It's got a bunch of instructions and directions like foot wrap, like a loop hitch, a splint, other uses, like a ring pad, all these things that can be super helpful. So that is available in the store now, so that way you can start working with your kids. We got this through Warrior Kid Medic. That's an awesome, awesome organization. They're super cool. Give them a follow. Give them a like. Tell them Refuge sent you. So there's that. But we'll get some more content on there about like kids with SWAT tees, S-Marks, Schlishmans. We used to have a micro responder course. We haven't offered the micro responder course in a while. One of the challenges is we don't put kids on camera often just because the internet is super weird. And so we're super cautious about showing kids' faces or anything like that just because I really, really, really love the Fourth Amendment and I really, really love my privacy. And I don't ever want to unknowingly take somebody's privacy away from them just because, you know, they're a kid, right? So hopefully that'll help and we'll get some more content out there for you. In terms of our Army dude, I don't know if you're in a combat role or not, but I will let you know that there's a ton of dudes and chicks in every single branch right now that are running Refuge kits. That being said, I recommend for like a belt kit, right? Because it depends on your setup and what your MOS is and what you're doing. So anything from an SOB to an ARC to a Bearfac is gonna really, really do it for you. All of those are gonna have awesome content that are gonna be able to render aid to not just gunshot wounds or IEDs or forced amputations, but also could help deal, you can add some components for heat exhaustion, you can add some components for sustainment, all these things, and we have different sizes. The SOB goes right in the small of the back. I'll show you, hold on. The bare mid would work too. The bare mid would work too. And we obviously we have it in multicam too, so that way you can stay in reg. So here's an ARC in multicam right here. This is an awesome kit. So this would attach to your plate carrier or your LBV, whatever it may be. And with that, it can hang off. You can open it while it's still on your gear, right? Like so. And you can work out of it. I can also take it off my gear, like so. And now I can set it down on a casualty, right? And I can work out of it there. And then if I need to move really quick because Care Under Fire says that we're not rendering aid while bad things are happening on the X, I can slap that back on, I can run off, I can get my gun back in the fight, and I can go to work, right? So the ARC's a great option. The SOB sits in the small of the back. It's right here, a little bit tighter. This is just a me. This is an IFAC individual. And so with that, I would run it upside down. So that way it would sit like so on my belt. I'd be able to pull on my red tab, pull that bad boy out, and go to work in my blowout kit right here. This is a great little GSW forced amputation kit right here. So a little blowout kit, you know, guys. And then the bare min is gonna have some like OTC meds and a little bit more capability. It's a larger kit. And so with that, it takes up more space on the belt or on the vest or wherever you may store it, right? I recommend you guys store it upside down. So that way when we open it, right, I can pull down away from me rather than trying to pull up where I don't have as much leverage or room anymore, right? But high quality kit, all this stuff is made in the US with US ponies, right? We're not trying to have China sabotage our first aid kits. Oh, that's a conspiracy theorist. They would never do that. Oh yeah, they wouldn't send us not working tourniquets for the past 6 years. They wouldn't send us tourniquets that break on the first use. They wouldn't do that. Oh yeah? Tell me about it. Weirdos.
Okay,
What you got?
guys, we don't have the mic on because the mic is messed up. I've gotten like 3 comments about the mic.
This mic sucks.
It doesn't
and I'm
work.
trying to project my voice. Please.
But we got $20 for this question. Are you ready?
I'm ready. What's the question?
Shalom, Refuge Tribe.
Shalom.
Just curious, what kind of badge is Bob wearing in some of your recent videos?
Oh, dude, absolutely. That is a merit badge. I got it from your mom. So she thought I deserved it. She reached out. She's like, here you go, dude. I was like, thanks so much. It is what it is.
And we got a medical mixed with faith, tactical, practical applications. How about hitting on the canine first aid?
Yep. So the canine first aid is something that people really like, but nobody buys.
Yeah.
It's a cool idea. I think that everybody is illusioned with how much canine stuff is out there. Canine is a pretty niche market. It's very small, and dog handlers are pretty small. So we worked with Team 5 to develop those kits. They're absolutely banging, but we don't even usually stock them. They're usually something you have to order directly from us. You got to reach out. Somebody said content suggestion, basic first aid on animals, right? Similarities versus difference to humans. Yeah, absolutely. That might be good to have a vet come in and talk about some of the differences of treating an animal versus treating a person. So what we could do is, Laura, we could reach out to a couple of the vets in the area and talk to them and see if they wanted to come in and talk to us about it. I think that'd be cool. So maybe we'll do that. We'll have a couple of vets come in and chat with us about, you know, the best methodologies for treating animals versus treating human beings.
It's a based badge. They're only giving out to the truest of the true based bros.
That makes sense. That actually is what it is.
We should make those.
A base badge?
A base badge, and like whenever anybody's like super based, they just get a badge.
Guys, it's just it's just a merit badge from your mom. It's not that big of a deal. It's okay, you know. Actually, last stream I said that, and somebody's mom had passed away, and I felt really bad. But I'm still saying it because your mom jokes are hilarious, and they'll always be golden.
So over on TikTok, we had been looking to get travel kits for all my vehicles and an EMT bag / kit for the homestead.
Yeah.
I would say like the field medic then.
Yeah, so
right?
I'd be a field medic, especially like if you are an EMT, like the field medic is really gonna apply to you. Also, the adventure kit with like a surgical add-on is a super sweet homestead kit, and it's a good investment. Like if you have HSA or FSA money, go ahead and spend, you know, $500-600 on an adventure kit and secure a good first aid kit for your family. And I think that some people have this like disillusion that a first aid kit should cost like under $100. But guys, the #1 preventable cause of death in the United States is massive bleeding. It's a very, very, very big problem. And it shows that it's a very big problem because Americans are not distributing enough focus, funds, or time to the issue. It would stop being an issue if people were A, stocking the gear that they needed to stock, B, learning how to use the gear that they stocked, and C, carrying the gear that they learned how to use and stocked. Those 3 things combined would stop massive bleeding from being such a big issue. So we, as the Refuge Nation, as Bob, as y'all, We got to do a better job of communicating the absolute necessity of focusing on this and prioritizing it. What do you got?
I don't know how I missed this, but this was from 5 days ago. Someone commented on the Origin whitetails and said it's worth the money. It kept me calm and from bleeding out and able to drive myself to the hospital and get meds attention. Thank you for everything you guys do.
So that might be a life save.
I'm gonna go ahead and say please email us.
So if that was you and you're in this, please email us immediately, because that'll be the first life saved with an Origin kit. That'll be a big deal to me, because I helped develop that. It'll also just be a big deal to me because you're still breathing, which is super duper 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 cool. And man, it's so awesome. Bob No Like Canine. Hey, okay, listen, that, when you're doing SWAT training and they bring out the dog and the dog's not muzzled, it just makes certain people feel certain ways. I'm one of those people, and it makes me feel uncomfortable because I have worked closely with those types of dogs and I know exactly what they're capable of, and I'm not vibing on tourniquet application to myself, right? Nobody wants to win the surgery lottery, right? And guys, just so you know, if you apply a tourniquet, you have just won the surgery lottery, right? You 99.9% of the time are gonna need surgery, right? Because I don't know how to put arteries back together, do y'all? No.
Yeah, it doesn't stop at the tourniquet.
Yeah, it's like, oh, tourniquet's on, I'm gonna go home. No, dude, nope, still either a severed or partially severed artery there that is gonna want you to die.
You will run out of time eventually.
Sparks.
I got my parents an adventure kit recently and showed them how to use the various tourniquets.
Bob's not an alphabet boy. He won't shoot your dog unless needed. Yeah, no, I don't like shooting dogs at all. They're cool. I'm a big fan of working dogs, if you, anything that is attacking me or the people I love can get the smoke. Like, that's just simple right there. That's just basic dude stuff, all right? I got my parents an adventure kit and then recently showed them how to use the various tourniquets. That is freaking awesome. Hold on, don't give it to him yet. Don't give it to him yet.
I'm gonna swap you.
Look
you're
who's in the
swapping?
building.
That's our local SWAT commander who just walked in the building. He's too cool for you guys to see.
He's like giving us the no.
He's like, no, don't do it.
No, I was gonna
So
swap
Britt's
you.
gonna hop on so I can have a quick conversation.
I knew you needed to have a conversation. I totally just walked in front of that light, and that's okay. Hey guys.
Are you blind?
I don't feel like I've been here in a hot minute.
You have not been on a
I have not
live
been
in a
on live
while.
stream, so yeah.
Everybody say hi to Britt. Give us our questions for her. Give your questions
If you
for
guys
her.
are new, I am the director of operations here for the office for Refuge Medical. I do all the purchasing, all the logistics, the team, ordering, adding in new products.
She wears 27,000 hats.
I've been shipping this week because our shipping guy is out doing jury duty. Yeah, I'm a little bit of everything.
Britt is our keeps the boat floating person.
Yes. Hi guys. I see.
So we got a Liberty
Bob
Shalom.
Bob left his phone over here, so I can.
It's funny because if you know her as Liberty, then you've probably been around for a while.
Yeah. If you know me as Liberty and you know my husband as Yankee. you've been
Liberty
here
Bibberty.
For a hot minute. It has been a while.
Your headgear matches the plants. Someone said way better looking than Bob.
It also matches my pants. My
Green.
green pants. They're my tactical with all of my EDC items in them.
The Iridium group says, Britt, good
Hey.
afternoon. Everyone's saying hi to you.
I know, I see that. Hi, Rachel. I'm ready for women's retreat. I think women's retreat needs to happen twice.
Oh, thank you. I agree.
Because
When
this-
is the second one?
I'm like, come on. I'm ready for another.
I think maybe we should add like a couple of extra days, like staff days, where you're just like, we're not served, like just a whole 24 hours where we all do nothing but sit.
What would happen to the office with all of us gone?
Well, I don't know because all the husbands who get left with the kids are like, come home.
Yeah. Did Yankee make it home after Medic's Mouth? Yes, he did, and I will just say that Medic's Mouth potion is delicious.
Oh, I still have mine.
I still have some
Yeah.
too. I was actually drinking it last night because it was so good. Patty said she votes for 2 women's retreats.
Yes. Hey, we got a request. Are you ready, Britt?
Uh-oh.
EDC pocket dump.
Oh gosh.
Do you actually have all your stuff on you today?
I don't have my slit kit because I just took it out over there, but normally slit kit,
Tourniquet.
Sharpie because I do all the shipping and receiving, pocket knife, another head covering because I had my beanie on yesterday. I have a Slishman because I have children. I have a red pen.
Is that all in one pocket?
Yeah.
Oh my
well,
gosh.
the tourniquet goes in the tourniquet pocket.
Okay.
But yeah, money. Wow.
Nice. You're like, I didn't even know that was in there.
I didn't.
I love finding random
ZZs.
money.
And then I have, can't show all of the things, but I have 2 spare mags and a gun on the other side.
That's so funny, Timbo Slice. All the husbands are planning a hunting trip and closing the office for the weekend. Is that so?
So yeah, that is pretty much, at least that's my like on me at this moment pocket dump. My phone is being used for the live stream, so normally I have that. Sharpie makes it all happen. Yeah, this Sharpie is used so many times. Between this, and this, these are like my 3 go-tos all day long. Opening boxes, marking boxes, what is in them, and then marking the POs and receiving papers and making sure that everything is received accurately in the computer. So these are like my 3 tactical items.
Tommy Salter asked, has Refuge Medical considered offering hats and or t-shirts?
So we do offer t-shirts.
And sweaters.
Yeah, we have the hoodies. This one is in the store, and we have more sizes coming in stock soon. I have an order out there. We have the Carry Enough and Tourniquet t-shirt. We have a few of the Hurry Up You're Dying t-shirts. And then we have the normal Refuge Medical or just big logo t-shirts. Hats we've talked about. We're actually talking about maybe a beanie.
That would be sweet.
Yeah.
I know Heath was looking for a long time to find an American-made manufacturer.
Yeah, so we're trying to find that because I think they're talking about it for around SHOT Show time. They're talking about bringing in a beanie.
Speaking of, that's a cool, we have some big events coming up. We have SHOT Show and we have the Refuge Ruckus, which Bob has not talked about yet today.
Yeah, the Ruckus is coming. I'm excited to be a mother rucker because I have a little 7-month-old, so he will probably be in a stroller. But I get to be a mother rucker for that because I don't have to carry weight. I'm going to be pushing weight. Do you recommend a Slishman over a soft tee for children and small people? Yes, I recommend. I like the Slishman personally over the SWAT tee because the SWAT tee material gets slippery when wet. And if you're applying a tourniquet, that probably means there's blood, which is wet. And it's hard. You can't self-apply it. Slishman, you can one-hand self-apply. I just prefer the Slishman over the SWAT tee any day, even though it's not as tested. SWAT tee is still a great tourniquet, but
the SWAT tee has so many other uses. Like it can be an ETD, like you know, if you need to wrap over gauze.
So does the Slishman.
Yeah.
Like you can use a Slishman. I've used it to hold ice packs into place. I've used it to hold like splints into place. I've used it for all kinds of things. And it even gets arterial restriction on an adult if needed.
Oh yeah,
I still carry my soft tee because I'm, one is none, 2 is 1 type thing. And I really like the red soft tee. I actually had the FDE tan soft tee, and my husband stole it, so I had to get the red one to distinguish the difference between my soft tee and his soft tee. So I love when people always comment like, what do you do with all your EDC items when you go do laundry? But if they're EDC items, they just move different pants with me, so they're never like in the laundry because when I switch to a different pair of pants, all my EDC items move to those other pair of pants because I wear them every single day.
Yeah, Heath will wear the same pair of pants for a couple of days. I mean, he has so much. So when it's time to actually switch to a new pair of pants, you just see him pulling everything out, hooking on his eat seats to his new pair of pants, putting all the things and all the carries everything with him.
Definitely.
Yes.
Having these Duluth pants, I can get like a full week out of them as long as I'm not like crawling around in the mud and doing training things.
So Patty was telling Alan that there is a men's retreat, and it is in the beginning of the year, but it is for Patreon members only, and it does sell out like the moment it's posted.
Yeah,
like
men's retreat is always like 3 times the size of women's retreat, and I'm like, women's retreat is big enough.
And ours is huge.
Ours is like 30 to 40 people. Yeah.
And that's a lot. Like it's a lot.
Yeah. Men's retreat is huge, and yes, it is normally announced on Patreon only. Because it doesn't normally have spots left after it goes to Patreon. So get on Patreon, $5 a month. There is so much content out there on Patreon. Like, so
he is multiple times a day. You're getting something.
Yeah. Oh yeah, and I'm pretty sure he has like content out and ready, and he's just always filming. What's up?
Trying to decide. travel kit or arc kit for my truck?
Okay, so they have two different utilizations. The art kit was designed for law enforcement officers, plate carrier. It kind of covers you in a buddy, trauma related. The travel kit I actually helped build, and it is more related to more common injuries. So it's got band-aids, it has eye wash, it still has your compressed gauze, your chest seals, your tourniquet, things like that, but it's going to have more, it can cover more injuries compared to the ARC. So they're both great kits. They both come in the same bag. They're both the advanced rip away, but they just have different utilizations. I would say if you're putting it in your car, I would go travel kit. Hi guys.
Hi.
Lone Star
You ready?
said that
You sitting back?
we got to convince his wife to go to women's retreat because he goes to men's retreat and he knows that she'll love it.
We had a few women last year that it was their first women's retreat, and it was because their husband was at men's retreat, and they talked them into going. So we did a pocket dump.
A pocket dump?
All of my pocket.
Heck yeah,
It was
dude.
all in one pocket, but
Nice.
Someone said a good hat with a Velcro patch on the back for blood type patch. And then also someone said morale patches, question mark.
Oh, they're inbound.
Oh man,
They're
we're
inbound.
always got new patches coming.
So, if you guys haven't seen, we did have the Pedophiles Aren't People patch. That was a beautiful patch. That somebody
Sold
else-
out like
Sold out in 2 hours. So that was a cool patch. Do we have one somewhere?
Yeah,
It
I
just, had
grabbed
like
you one.
it just has a wood chipper on it, which is completely unrelated. I don't know what that has to do with anything. I have to say that. But anyways, it was a pretty funny patch. So we're working on some more morale patches too, because it's just funny, you know. Does she participate in Women's Group Wednesday alongside William? We get first dibs. Oh yeah, that's a good question, Patty.
Yeah, Ladies Retreat will be announced on Bear's Patreon closer to, and it gets announced first to the women's group.
Do we have an extra one of those?
Yeah, you need it for this guy?
Mhm.
Yeah, I can get him one. I was
So
gonna.
there's a quick glimpse at the latest morale patch. We got a couple more
There you go, all three.
that are coming.
This one's us, Heath's
We're
jacket.
working with a new merch company. We'll see how that new merch company does. We don't know yet. We'll look into it and see how it's going. But that's a good question. What else did I miss? EDC my Zeet based. Definitely based. Have a Cat 7 and Slishman in all three of our vehicles. Dude, that's freaking awesome. That's the way to go. I was just putting one of my good buddies on the Schlishman. He thought that like people were using it for an ETD. He's like, it's the most expensive ETD in the world. I was like, no, dude, child tourniquet. That's where it's at. And it is awesome. My 8-year-old successfully used the Schlishman to get occlusion on me. Now, how do you stage it? That's a great question. Stand by. Here's how I stage a slishy. I've been wrong before, right? So we wrap it up so that the hook adheres to the Schlishman itself, and it'll give you a little tail right here, right? Now I just like the tail to be big enough to fit through like an average child's foot, so probably like 10 inches in diameter, something like that, right? Average kiddo right there. And then we're just gonna wrap it like so, right? And it adheres to itself. And then you're just gonna have this little tail. So tuck the tail, like so. And then you can put it in a pouch, you can cover it with a rubber band like this, whatever it may be. Shalom, I love you. Thank you.
I think most of us do rubber bands.
A lot of us do rubber bands. There's also like a black pouch that you can get for it too that is all hook and loop. So if you wanna like throw that to a Velcro patch, it'll stick to it. This will stick to Velcro too if you wanna stage it that way. But that way when I grab it, I open it up and I immediately have my loop right here. So I can go right into the loop, I can pull it, and I immediately have that pressure so I can start to wrap, right? So on and so forth. And the cool thing about the Schlishman is the hook and loop throughout the whole product, or down the whole wrap. So it adheres as you wrap. So if you accidentally let go because kids are crazy and they're screaming or whatever, you don't lose the tension that you've already gotten, which is like, you know, the biggest concern. It's one of the things I really enjoy about it. What do you got?
Somebody said, sure looks like it's a better option than the Israeli bandage being used as a tourniquet.
Yeah, no, we shouldn't use ETDs as tourniquets. It's gonna be hard to get constant pressure. Also, that sounds like it's gonna fail, right? So a plan to improvise is a plan to fail. Get a tourniquet that's gonna work for whatever size limb you might potentially be working on. If you got little kiddos and you might be around little kiddos, get a tourniquet that's gonna work for little kiddos. If you're gonna be around adults and bigger people, get a tourniquet that works for adults and bigger people. the Cat Gen 7 is an awesome tourniquet. If you have tree trunks for legs, it might not work.
If you have Dudley legs.
If you've got Dudley legs, you're gonna want a soft tee, and that's just the way it is. I gets very cold here. Are any of the components in your kits prone to fail due to very low temperatures? Should I bring my kit inside at night, or can I leave it in the vehicle? It really depends on how cold you get. The main thing you're gonna worry about is anything with adhesive on it. Majority of the components have a temperature failure level in there, especially the chest seals. So you can check on the chest seals. I think it's on the back. But it has a temperature range, and so what your potential failure is. So deal with your components, go look up your components, see what the temperature range is, because everyone's gonna have a different failure point. That being said, if it's like negative 100 degrees, bring your stuff inside, right? Absolutely. If it's 155 degrees, bring your stuff inside, right? This is just like anything in the world. It's gonna have failure points, and so if you are concerned about it, if that's a concern for you, then absolutely bring it inside, so that way you don't potentially have a failure point, you know? We try to build it with the most robust, the most tough and durable materials that we can. That being said, everything has a breaking point, right? Doesn't matter if it's a steel beam. LOL. Sorry. I'm me. I can't not make jokes. It doesn't matter if it's a steel beam. It doesn't matter if it's a tourniquet. Everything has a breaking point.
That's interesting. Could we get a hat with a Velcro front so we can swap out your morale patches? We actually T&E'd a hat that had a Velcro front.
Yeah, we've looked at a couple of hats with a Velcro front, just like so. The main thing is we just want to make sure that it's American made and that it's the right price point. We're talking about beanies right now. Do you guys want beanies? Would you guys be interested in a beanie? Let me know if you'd be interested in a beanie in the comment section, because I want a Refuge Medical beanie, so I just need to know if I need to get y'all some Refuge Medical beanies or if I'm just ordering one for me, right? Best TQ for a 2-year-old. S mark, question mark? I don't know how big your 2-year-old is. And that's one of the challenges, is it's not about age, it's about size, right? I've seen 2-year-olds that are gigantic. I've seen 2-year-olds that look like 1-year-olds, right? I would recommend that you work with your gear, whether it's a Slishman, an S mark, a SWAT T. Those are gonna work for whatever circumference, right? Whatever size, and so an S mark will work, right? But just work with your gear, test it, and make sure, right?
Warset Gibbs over on TikTok asked, are any components going to be damaged if stored in elastics?
In elastics?
I wonder if that's like a rubber band?
Yeah, no. I think he's talking about like if I were to take my chest seal and go like this
Oh,
inside
yeah.
an elastic package.
No.
No, you're not gonna damage the chest seal. This is folded in here, right? This is stored in elastic in the Bear Fact. So stand by. So when you open a Bear Pack up, it's got this elastic pouch right here. Elastic here, elastic here, elastic here. We store stuff in elastic all the time. I haven't seen a failure. If you do see a failure, let me know so that way I can make stuff better.
Oh.
You know, I'm not always right.
Texas Sheep Lady. Will sitting on the slick kit be a problem? I can tell you my husband's been EDCing that kit for as long as it's been out in his back pocket.
Yep.
And it's fine.
Yeah,
You might pop the
vacuum
vacuum seal, but other than that, no.
No. Guys, this is gauze. And you can sit on gauze. That's gauze and an ace bandage. You can sit on that. That's a chest seal. You can sit on that. That's gloves. You can sit on that. There's some duct tape. You can sit on that. You know, things I'd be worried about sitting on. This windlass, like over and over
Yeah.
and over and over and over and
Yeah.
over and over again, right? This C-clamp over and over and over and over and over again. But like that's not inside of a slick kit, so I wouldn't have any concern sticking this in my back pocket. No big deal.
Lamppost Collector said, I miss why we're talking about beanies, but I want one. And Elijah's here, DeMello.
Elijah!
Didn't he do the music video?
Elijah, did the music video drop yet? Throw it in the comment section if it dropped.
So
Guys,
he said beanie would be tough front side with the brand. Wait, I don't know what that means. But on the back, carry a nothing tourniquet.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
That would be
That'd
cool.
Super cool. Yeah, I don't know if it's gonna be a carrying up in TQ or just maybe like a simple Refuge tourniquet or a Refuge beanie, not a tourniquet.
Deploying like your tourniquet off your beanie.
Yeah, deploy the tourniquet off the beanie. Yeah, that's fine. Chest seals still work. They should. Like I said, these. So if you, I have so many chest seals that look like this. I can't even see straight, right? Because I'm just gonna ruin this one. That's fine.
You're ruining a Halo?
That's what it is.
Oh my
Right? So,
gosh.
hold on. Never fold your chest seal. Never do it. It compromises it. It breaks it. Hold on.
It's folded.
Wait a What the? Huh? What the what? How's that even possible? Huh?
It's literally folded on
It's
the
literally
inside.
folded, guys. I know a bunch of dudes that take this out of the wrapper and fold it like this and stage it before they go on up. Because we don't want to open a bunch of packages. And so they'll take these and they'll...
And it'll still stick. It'll still rip the hair right off of you.
Oh yeah. Well, this is a trainer, so it's a little less adhesive. But
His music video is out.
you guys get what I'm saying. Guys, Elijah DeMello just dropped a new music video. It's called Oh Babylon. Go and watch it and like it. It's awesome. It's an awesome testimony. He's singing about the world and the current state that it's in. That dude is making music under the Lord. There's no big production crew or anything behind him. He's out there just doing music. He's like singing about the Nicolaitans. He's singing about the sadness of Babylon. He's wearing full kit in the music video, holding the rifle. He's a cool dude, man. He's got a family. He's out there doing the thing. So go support him, right? Go support him.
NWA Prepper is here and he says he loves us.
Dude, I love you, NWA Prepper. Are we going to hang out at SHOT Show? Yeah, we are. We're definitely going to hang out at SHOT Show. That's what we're going to do. It's going to be a party.
Why is SHOT Show different this year?
Why is SHOT Show
Yeah,
different?
why is it different?
Oh, you may be wondering why SHOT Show is different for us this
Yes,
year.
for us. Like, what's going to be different for us this year?
So this year, we're not just going to SHOT Show. We have a team like me, TJ, Dudley are going to go walk around SHOT Show and get into mischief as always. We're going to bully people. We're going to get bullied. It'll be a fun time. We'll make fun of the gun industry for being lame and gay. Oops, sorry, TikTok, ban me. But we also are going to have a booth at SHOT Show that you guys can come to. You can meet the crew. You can mess with all the components and the gear, see some of the new products we're releasing, and just hang out. You know, we're going to be giving away dope swag and dope merch that we've never given away to anybody before at the SHOT Show booth. So if you're going to SHOT, you got to go come see Refuge Medical. Reach out to us, get our booth number. We'll hook you guys up. Yeah, man, it's a party. It really, really is. It's going to be a good time. Pin Elijah's song in the comments.
I just shared
afterwards.
it.
Yeah, so it's in the comments right now. So Elijah's song, it's like hip hoppy kind of jam. It's nice.
I don't know.
dude.
It's like hip hop, but also almost not
pop.
reggae, but
Yeah.
like has that feel to it.
Dude, it's good. It's a good vibe. It really is. And it's not secular, which I like. You know?
Yes, we're having a booth.
Yes.
Like
so-
Heath is gonna be there. We're gonna make sure that he has to run all over the place to get the phone still.
Yeah, we're gonna make Heath run
Phone.
from Las Vegas to Oklahoma to pick up the customer service phone, and we're gonna see how long it takes him to do it. So we're just gonna need you guys to be calling customer service
lot.
over and over and over again, so that way he has something to run to. But yeah, Foe and Heath and Dawn are gonna be working the booth, and then me and TJ and Dud are gonna be running around like chickens with our heads cut off, trying to like make fun of influencers and stuff like that. It's my personal goal to hang out with administrative results because that dude's super based. So yeah, if you're gonna be at SHOT Show, come see us. If not, that's also cool because SHOT Show is lame in Vegas, so I get it.
What? What's your
Record Heath.
take on the bus? What?
Huh?
What's your take on the bus and 60 men that was in your backyard this weekend? I'm so far beyond. Like, I don't listen to the news anymore, so I don't know what they're talking
My
about.
take on it is it real? And what's my backyard, dude? My backyard, Oklahoma
Yeah.
City.
Do you know where our backyard is?
Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna guess you probably don't know where.
You
my
should
backyard
say
is.
no. That should be your correct answer.
If you say yes, hit me up after this. I'd like to talk to you.
We know a guy.
No, so my thoughts on the illegal immigrants right now is that Oklahoma made it illegal for illegal immigrants to get driver's license here. Oklahoma's also canceled any rights for China to continue to work in the cultivation of marijuana and cannabis in this state, and they kicked out a lot of foreign nationals.
They got
Ideas
tired
are
of
that
them.
Arkansas also made it illegal for any Chinese Communist parties with interests in the Chinese military or Chinese Communist Party. They now have to give over and forfeit their land back to the state because we are currently in fifth generational warfare. They are coming after our farms. My thoughts are that we work very closely with our state reps as well as our local law enforcement, our county law enforcement, and our state law enforcement to ensure that if those dudes want to find out, they can go ahead and fuck around. That's how I feel about it. personally.
Someone
Very
said,
clear. Sorry for the 4-letter words, but some things merit such gravitas.
someone said the other day when we did that, when you like did the random, that was not planned, by the way, when Bob did the active shooter training, or like, he just did that. There was no warning or
I don't
anything like
tell
that. But somebody who said, I feel like that would be the wrong office to walk into to try to do that.
There are more than 0 fully ready carbines ready to go within arm's reach.
More than.
We take the protection of the Father's people very seriously. Protect my flock, is what he said. And we will. So, do with that information what you will. And I think y'all should be doing the same thing. Now Oklahoma needs to do the same. Oklahoma is doing the same. Oklahoma just passed legislation like 3 months ago to not allow any illegal immigrants to be able to get any identification here. So that way they can't vote. That way they can't buy firearms. That
Or
way
property,
they can't buy
right?
property.
Yeah.
That way they can't do all of these things. It's a big deal to us. Oklahoma is taking it seriously. Our county is taking it seriously. Our neighboring counties are taking it seriously. Because this is not Illinois. Don't think it is. You will be mistaken.
Any idea when the bare men will be back in stock?
Tomorrow, maybe.
I want to
We're
say.
waiting on bags.
Yeah, and I think Fo went to go pick up bags today.
We're waiting on bags. We have our components. We just didn't want to put it in stock because we wanted to make sure we got the right amount and the right colors, and so we don't want to oversell stuff to you. So I would assume, dude, it could be today. The best way to know when stuff is going to be back in stock is go on the website, hit the notify me button, right, and then you'll get a little email when it's back in stock. So that way you're good to go. I love that. Such a nice kit.
Timbo Slice. Unfortunately, I am in the People's Socialist Republic of Illinois, and there's 0 chance they'll do it.
Tim, leave.
Get out.
Leave, bro. And Tim, you may be wondering, this guy just doesn't understand. He doesn't get it. Brother, I'm from Joliet, Illinois. Okay? My wife and I moved from there 2.5 years ago. We didn't plan on it. We sold everything we had. We got rid of everything we had. Came out of for my people. We moved on to another person's property, right? And we were faithful and just tried to be as obedient as we could, and we were blessed because of it. You can do it. Your job is not more important than your safety. Your home is not more important than your safety. Your friends are not more important than your safety. If you have a family to steward and protect and you're not leaving these areas, prepare for war. And I'm not just telling you this. I told all of my family members this 2 weeks ago. Okay? 2 weeks ago, I told my family members who are in states where these issues are happening, said, y'all better get ready. You better either leave or prepare for war, because that's what you're getting. You really are. And you're already seeing it. In Chicago, we saw the Black Hebrew Israelites clashing with Palestinians yesterday in downtown Chicago. Like, bad. I wonder if they have guns in Chicago.
That's an interesting group of people.
Yeah, I wonder if they have guns. Maybe. I don't know. Now it makes sense. Bob is a region rat.
What's that mean?
I don't know what that means. I don't like that it has rat in it. But, okay. If I got upset every time someone said something on the internet about me, I'd be an upset dude. Drive time over, gotta get back to work. Shalom, friends. Shalom, Rachel.
Do you guys have a plate carrier flat blowout kit?
No, we don't. I recommend Focus Group. Focus Group has an awesome vacuum sealed kit that goes behind a plate in a plate carrier. I also think there are better ways to deploy a medical kit personally, because if you take rounds in a plate carrier and that's where all your medical is, right? So there's like, you can put it in your back, or you could, run an arc or something like that off your belt line, swallow the back, all that'll work.
NWA Prepper said, wow, my first fire gear came from Joliet, Illinois.
There you go. See?
A long time ago.
A long time ago. Joliet, Illinois, home of the Blues Brothers, and a lot of crime.
Thoughts on 2A and PA?
What was the thoughts?
It just says thoughts on 2A and PA, question mark.
In Pennsylvania, my thoughts on the 2A are that I don't have any thoughts on it. I don't know all the 2A rules in all the states. I know my state and the neighboring states. My thoughts are that they should have a free and open Second Amendment that is not restricted at all. The same way I think that with every single state inside of the Republic is that It can't be limited. We
Should
call
a-
them fibs up here. I don't know what that means.
Should a person hydrate any different in the cooler months?
Uh,
It's probably just as easy to get dehydrated
It
because
is
you're
good,
not
actually.
thinking about
It's
it.
easier sometimes to get dehydrated in the cooler months. Yeah. You guys should be maintaining the same hydration levels regardless of the time. Make sure that you're constantly drinking water, a gallon per person per day on a minimum. I always like to recommend some salt. Salt is good, okay? Helps the old body regulate like it needs to. November 4th is supposed to be a huge pro-Palestine protest in D.C. Yeah, I don't really pay attention to those dates anymore, bro. Because there's always a date. There's always something going to go on, right? The best way to, you know how to not worry about that? Don't be in D.C. Don't be where the bad stuff is, right? Don't come out of her, my people, lest you partaketh of her sins, and then receiveth also of her plagues.
So Jeep Gentleman on TikTok was looking for backplate kit to supplement Beltline IFAC. I mean, could you do?
So he might be running out of Beltline just because like he has extra gear and all that stuff. So you can definitely attach some of this to the back of your plate carrier. It won't be super easy. You can run a backpack, and if you're really just looking for something you can pull out of the back of your plate carrier, I recommend Focus. They're an awesome group. I love Focus Group. Bunch of frogmen over there. They do really, really good work. And I believe they even have the patent on that type of first aid kit. Like, you can't produce a slick back inside the plate carrier IFAC without Focus's permission. So reach out to them. Also, there's the Combat Medic roll from Barrow Concepts. That's good, but I don't love the deployment method on that. I haven't been sold on that one yet. So yeah, is the foldable litter pouch still in the works? It's not just in the works; it's almost out of the works. We are just finishing up some production stuff on it. We just want to make sure that our production is all in line and good to go before we launch it to y'all. I'm running one on my bag. If you watch the video with me and Heath, I showed you guys a little teaser of it and how it would deploy. So you guys can go ahead and take a glance at that. Awesome life. No, you're an awesome life, Mike. Cooler weather, usually lower humidity, so hard to keep hydration up. That's a great word. But it depends on where you are, right? You get higher humidity sometimes in the cool, depending on where you are, right? And that's why it's like all circumstantial, right? We need to make sure that we understand the concepts behind this medicine and not just like things to do. Like, it's one thing to be able to put a tourniquet on, it's another thing to understand how a tourniquet works, right? If you understand how a tourniquet works, you can create a tourniquet when you don't have one, right? It's one thing to know you have to drink water, it's another thing to understand why you have to drink water, right? And so it's the methodology versus the practice. I hope that helps. I've got to go to SHOT Show so Bob can autograph my Iron Sharpens Iron dog tag he sent me. Dude, come to SHOT Show and I'll do way more than just like friggin' sign a dog tag. We'll go grab a drink or something. I mean, I don't drink alcohol, but we can drink something. And that's not me judging people who do drink alcohol. I just don't drink it. Right? 'Cause sometimes when I say that, people are like, what, is it because you're religious? No. Right? Jesus' first miracle was wine. Settle down, bro. It's physics. Hot air holds more. Yes, it is. It is physics. Is that physics? I don't know. I'm not a physician.
It's 12:41, so
It's 12:41. What else do we have to talk about? We talked about the affiliate program. We talked about what your favorite content was. What's something that they want to learn. We talked about the Notify Me app. We talked about the catching up on shipping. Keith, is there anything you want to tell these people?
Tell what?
Love 'em.
You love them?
That's it.
Keith just wants you to know that he loves you, right? That
Keep
you're
going.
loved, that you're cherished. Coffee, I don't drink either. I'm a big coffee dude. Big coffee dude. I love coffee.
oh, tell them about our blend.
Oh, yeah.
Speaking of,
Do
duh.
you have the Refuge blend? Guys, if you don't have the Refuge blend of coffee, you're asleep. You really are. This is the March E blend. Massive flavor, amazing quality, roasted fresh, caffeinate or die, heroic energy, and excellent.
Simply the best.
Simply the
Marvelous.
best.
It's marvelous. Hey, look, the slick kit. I
Yeah.
also kept one.
You should get one. Do you want one in your back pocket every day?
I do, every day.
Have you
Someone
ever sat on
asked-
it?
Boom. Oh, all the time.
Oh, you sit on it every day?
Every single day.
Dude, is it still working?
It's nice. Yeah.
Oh my gosh, unbelievable. Should we test it out? Should we open it up and see if all the components are good?
He's like, no, because then I have to vacuum seal it again.
If only we knew where a vacuum sealer
Oh,
was.
no.
He sits on it every day. We'll see if the components are good here.
Okay.
While he's, oh yeah, go ahead, baby.
Military combat quick clot. That's still fully vacuum sealed.
Yeah, it's still vacuum sealed too. Mine isn't even vacuum sealed.
NAR 4-inch mini responder ETD.
Listen to that, like, rasp. It's from training.
Yeah, we did.
Everybody's
Yeah.
super raspy.
Like, they lose their voice, mine just gets deep.
Yeah, he turns into like.
Say it. Say I'm Batman. Say it louder. They can't hear you.
I'm Batman.
There it is.
Louder with the diaphragm.
But louder!
Yeah, we did training Sunday and Monday, and so with that, Heath was one of our role players, so he got to be mangled up in the wheel well of a car
Yeah.
while people were rendering aid
It
to him.
looked like it
super
was.
fun.
It's rough, right? And so it's always so funny because like throughout the whole class, before we do scenario-based training, we always tell people, hey, you know, massive bleeding, right? That's what we're treating. It's gonna be messy. There's gonna be blood.
People are like, "What? You got
So,
blood on me."
Arterial
Oh, man.
bleeds. If you have a partially severed artery, that is still under pressure, right? So if you were to like snip a garden hose, it's gonna, right?
Yeah.
Just straight out like that. And so we simulate that inside of this scenario.
Right.
So when somebody runs up, because they always do, they run right up to render aid, the first thing that they get is a huge spray of blood, like right to their face, right?
It really catches them off guard.
And so Heath is like
People
covered
have
in
a
blood.
bad propensity to mouth breathe.
Oh yeah.
It's
Yeah.
like,
Like,
terrible.
that's not real blood, right?
So
like, no, we're not
terrible.
spraying you with a bottle of real blood.
Really?
Yeah, somebody did ask that, and it's like, dude, where did you think we would get the real blood? Like, what did you
Right.
think was happening? Did we just call the?
No, just tapped into our veins right before
Yeah.
class.
Yeah.
Like,
24 hours before class, just like an op we all draw.
it's amazing though to see people's reactions under stress, because they can watch all the videos, they can sit there and listen to all the things, and then you put them in that situation, and all of a sudden they're like not going through the steps that they're learning. They're not putting the tourniquet on. They're trying to pull his leg out of the wheel well without tourniqueting it.
Yep.
Like,
well, that's one of the main things that we start out training with saying is the idea of you rising to the occasion is
Not
impossible. It's never going to happen. You're only going to fall to the level of training that what you have. So with that said, if you have not been through any type of scenario-based training, you can say, oh, well, I would do this or I would do that, but how do you know?
Yeah, if you're not actually going out there and doing it, if you follow me on social media at all, it's usually 3 to 4 times a week. I tell you should be training more. That's because you should be.
You should be training.
It's just nonstop. It should be a
Right.
part of your ethos. Everything that you do is training, right? We train inside of the office constantly. You guys have seen videos. I'll just pretend there's a mass shooter, right? And like everybody has to respond. What's the team doing? How are we getting people to safety? Who's taking
Right.
security, right? All these things. If you're not going out and getting reps and sets with your gear, with yourself, because the gear is you. You are the gear. Anything you add to it is a tool, right? But right here is the most important kit you have. And so if you're not actually going out there getting reps and sets, like don't expect to do well inside of an emergency situation. Miss Lovely Dudley's in here. She said, such a learning experience. Training was epic. She took
yeah.
the training.
She took it this past weekend and she did a phenomenal job.
Absolutely.
We broke through so many, paradigms, or like, what is it? What's the word? Cognitive dissonance.
Yep.
Something you think you know, but you truly have no clue.
Yep.
Busting through that paradigm of what you think you know it's life-saving. And it was really cool watching Miss Lovely Dudley work through all of these things, seeing those wheels turn into her head and just her eyes just getting so big with the smile that only she can produce.
Yep.
Where she's like, oh my gosh, I'm so glad I get it now.
Yeah.
Right?
And our training very hard. I'll be the first one to say it. It's not easy.
It's not.
The reason we do that is we want you to fail here.
Yes.
If you fail here, it'll imprint on your brain.
Yep.
You will then train those things that you failed on to hopefully not fail in the field
Right.
when lives depend on it.
Exactly.
Right? So if you fail here, Heath doesn't die, right?
Yep.
Heath just yells at you because the tourniquet wasn't tight enough.
Right.
If you fail out in the field, it could be a different result, which we never want. We never want anybody to have that experience. We want people to be confident in their ability. Somebody said, my biggest takeaway after the essential responder is that training should become a regular activity. Yeah, If you guys are going to the range once a month, but you're not training TACMed once a month, you're wrong.
Yep.
You're just wrong, dude. If you're not constantly just reestablishing how to put a tourniquet on, how to wound pack, how to apply a chest seal, all these things, they should be in your head.
Sub-Zero wants to know if, and this kind of goes back to I think what you talked about before, but how might the components do under constriction from, say, an elastic loop on a chest rig? He carries his pop kit and what was supposed to hold like a grenade.
They'll be fine.
Yeah, I told him unless it's, I mean, it could possibly pop the vacuum seal, but unless it's something that needs to be sterile, it's probably
then,
fine,
like,
right?
And people talk about, oh, well, this needs to be sterile and that needs to be sterile. Dude, if you don't have this or you don't have compressed gauze and you need to pack a wound,
You could use a sock.
take your shirt off and freaking pack a wound.
Yeah.
So,
Right?
there's a couple of thoughts with that. Like, so I have combat gauze right here. It stays in my pocket. It's popped.
Yep.
I'm gonna ask you a question. Did whatever caused the hole, is that sterile? If you got shot, or if you caught a piece of fragmentation from a car accident in a pelvic girdle, is that sterile? No.
No,
Right?
absolutely not.
We've already been exposed. Now, do we want to mitigate anything that's going into the wound that's unclean? Yes, absolutely, at all times, right? But I'm just saying, like, people get really, really fixated on having having perfect condition equipment, and they don't understand like the practicality and use. And so with that, like, it could potentially harm the vacuum seal of the product.
Yeah,
right?
absolutely.
With
But
that,
at the
it's
end of the
inside
day,
the pocket. I don't
At
think so.
the end of the day, if you think about it, I would never teach somebody to plan to improvise. However, if you have to improvise and you run out of chest seals or your chest seal fails, you can take the duct tape and the packaging here and turn it into a chest seal.
Cigarette cellophane.
Hello.
Been used as chest seals time and time again in war.
It does work. Again, I'm not
There-
advocating the idea of planning to improvise, but if you absolutely have to and you know what you're doing, those are key words, you know what you're doing, then we can make this work.
They're
So-
gonna pump them so full of antibiotics once they do get to higher level
Yeah,
of care.
regardless.
Yeah.
So like it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if you use
Right.
all sterile stuff. They are going to give you antibiotics.
Now, we should always absolutely try to keep the wound as clean as
Mhm.
possible. Always, always, always. But the breathing's gonna have to happen. Almost
Absolutely.
every single time, to some extent. Somebody asked, John Galt, yes, do chest seals still work in sub-zero temperatures? So here's the Halo chest seal right
Yes.
there. Our temperature range is 140 degrees Fahrenheit to negative 30 degrees Fahrenheit. So
Yep.
negative 30 to 140 is what this is rated for.
If you're living in more than negative 30, like leave.
Yeah,
Please don't live there.
That's impressive.
Good for you.
With that, the main thing that's going to suffer is adhesive, right? This
Yeah.
is going to be a little bit stiffer, and so your body heat might help, right? Keeping this a little bit closer to your body, just like so it has body heat. That way, when you take it off, put it on. It's not as big of a deal. Something I always recommend to people, like sub-zero temperatures. Take a couple of hand warmers.
Yep.
Pop them, throw them in your first aid kit. It's not like gonna heat them up. However, it may keep the
Right.
ambient temperature inside of your nylon a little bit higher. That way it doesn't compromise your gear. It's a super easy thing. I learned that from a really, really good tier 1 medic, and he is the cat's pajama.
But even then, what you're looking at is the idea of just the adhesive failing.
Yeah.
It's just adhesive. If you have an ETD, you can still lay a chest seal over it.
And then wrap.
And wrap it.
And create that
Right.
same vacuum, so that way you seal the pleural space. What do you
So
got?
Danny, this is in line with what you guys were talking about. Was saying you would just have to burp it, wouldn't you?
Oh,
So
yeah.
if
Well,
you don't,
anytime you apply a chest seal, you're most likely gonna have to. You're
Yeah.
gonna have to burp it, like every 5 to 10 minutes, right?
Even,
Otherwise,
even
you're
with sorry for stepping on you. Even with a vented chest seal, you still need to monitor that.
yeah, you're most likely gonna need to burp it. Otherwise, you're gonna potentially cause a pneumothorax. We don't
Right.
want to cause a pneumothorax or a tension pneumothorax. What we want to do is burp it, so that way it prevents that and allows any built-up air to release from that cavity, stop creating pressure on the other lung,
Yep.
and basically crushing our dude's air, right?
the Lamppost Collective. I live in more than negative 30 usually for about a week, a year. That
Alaska?
sounds.
Question mark?
I guess.
Canada?
I don't know. It sounds
It
terrible.
gets very cold here. Yeah, dude, I'm from Chicago. It got to like -30 once or twice a year. So I absolutely understand those like super frigid temperatures. I kind of miss it sometimes.
Ew.
Dude, I'm crazy, man.
And like we,
you can put more on. There gets to a point where you can't take more off, and that's the difference. Is like I'm put on 9 hoodies, but
then you like move to the south and you're like, what is happening?
I'm
I'm melting.
Yeah,
Why
but that's
can't I
like
be
the
naked?
thing, like 120 degrees in Arizona does not feel as hot as 90 degrees and full 100% humidity.
Oh, yeah.
Here in Oklahoma.
Oh yeah.
Right? It's
Our
it's
sweat will sweat.
entirely different.
Maine can get that cold. Yeah, Maine can get really cold too. That's it. Yeah, I didn't think about that. That's why Alaska is mostly vacant. Yeah, maybe.
That's the weather.
Possibility.
All right, guys, we got time for like 2 more questions. So let's hit up 2 more questions. You got Heath and I here. We'll answer what we can.
Oh yeah.
I really need to be productive, but don't want to leave the live stream. Great info, y'all. Thanks for sharing. Aw, thanks, Miss Hermit.
Patty says, I agree with Bob. Can always put more on.
Yeah, dude. And it just gets a point where you can't take more off because then you're socially acceptable. You're going to jail. And it's like, I don't want to go to jail just because I was sweaty, you know?
Kermode Bear said, praise report. My son just put a tourniquet on sub-minute after only watching once, and it was a rando tourniquet check.
That's sweet.
Good job, kid.
Did you check his radial pulse and make sure that it worked properly? That's all I want to know. Just, it's good to be able to put a tourniquet on, but it's better to be able to put it on the right way. And
And
that's not
if-
me saying he didn't.
Also, key indicator, if this was his first time, was he wincing? Was he in pain? Because it hurts.
Yeah, yeah. Tourniquets do one thing really well, they hurt.
Yeah.
If it doesn't hurt, you should just know you didn't put it on correctly. I did the leg one wrong when we did the Ranger beads, and I like walked with it and I was like, this, I don't know. So I took it off and we did it. And I was like, I stepped down and went, oh, that feels more like.
There it
Yeah.
Yeah, we had a woman in class this last week, and she was trying to get the tourniquet on, and she couldn't get it on tight enough. She couldn't get it on tight enough. And so I came over and I was working with her. And I was showing her. I was like, hey, what we're missing here is that initial wrench down, right? When we pull the tab, that needs to be super tight, and
Yep.
then we can start our windlass. And so I pulled it all the way down, and she kind of looked at me. She said, wow, that's tight. I was like, yeah, we haven't started the windlass yet. So I did one turn with the windlass, and she goes, oh my gosh, it's tight enough. I was like, no,
It's not.
no, it's not. Because I usually do 3 turns. And I worked with the second one. She's like, yeah! And I was like, now we're talking. Now that's the sweet sauce right
One
there.
turn past that hurts.
Yeah. And how do you know if a tourniquet's working? The bleeding stops, right? It's not, the bleeding stops. We don't ever want to be like, yeah, once it hurts, we're good. No, once the bleeding stops, that's when the tourniquet works, right? Because we train tourniquets a lot and we don't have the visual stimuli of the blood.
Yep.
And so we have to constantly know in our head until the bleeding stops, until the bleeding stops. That's how we know. 2 turns past bad words, says Baird. Yes, and that's a great way to gauge like how tight it needs to be. But we should be internalizing that until the bleeding stops. Because if I don't have a high pain tolerance and I'm a little sissy, which is okay because those people exist, and you just put it on and turn it twice, and I'm like,
You are not. Don't
and
even.
the bleeding's still going. You're like, well, it's 2 turns past bad words. That's not going to work. So until the bleeding stops.
Someone asked, our Jeep gentleman over on TikTok asked, discounts on multiple items purchased. We're so low on stock, we're probably not doing that right now.
Yeah, honestly, brother, if we have it in stock, it's cool that like you can buy it. If you're doing, we do discounts on bulk orders and like on wholesale orders and stuff like that. So if that's what you're looking for, no problemo, homie. Go ahead and email sales@refugemedical.com.
Right.
Sales@refugemedical.com. Either Fo or Dawn or somebody's gonna help you out over there. They'll take care of you, make sure you're good to go, and they'll get you the details you want. No pulse equals correct. Yes, you should not have a pulse with a properly applied tourniquet because that's the point, is to shut the flow off, which is what the pulse is. My tourniquet bruises from Tell City are finally gone. Yeah, you'll get a little
Tourniquet bite.
That's what I call it. You'll have that on those big jobs. It's good. It's a reminder.
I've got some right here on the inside of my left
Yeah,
thigh.
he showed me. He was like, look, I got some tourniquet bite. And yes, it hurts.
Yeah, Texas Sheep Lady said get Patriot discount. So I think you're talking about Patreon. If he's not on the Patreon, don't give him the Patreon discount.
No.
The
you're not
Patreon
giving
discount is for Patreon members that are part of Bear Independence Patreon. It's a
It is
cool thing.
exclusive.
It's a cool thing that only they get, right? Because the Patreon members at Bear Independence Patreon are freaking dope. And so they deserve that discount. And it's a pretty good discount. So If you're not subscribed to the Patreon, you should probably head over there and sub to the Patreon because also you can learn a metric crap ton.
Yeah, there's so much on there.
Furthermore, that Patreon community is a very large reason as to why
We're here.
Refuge is what it is today.
Yeah, we couldn't have done it without Patreon.
So that is a tremendous exclusive benefit to those people.
Oh, and they get new
are
items
quite
first.
literally Awesome.
Oh yeah,
They get dibs on new items all the time.
That's true. We do every single first release that we have goes directly to the Patreon first, right?
Yep.
There's not been a time where Patreon hasn't known about it first. Even if it's
Single
like
release.
an hour or two beforehand, they always get first dibs. That way they can go and support us first because they just are the fam, man. They're the cool kids. They're a group of a couple thousand individuals that just get it. They just freaking get it, right? I love my Bear Patreon. Based. We got time for one more question.
All caps.
All caps. Throw the question in there, all capitales. And then we'll answer that to the best of our broken ability. Go sign up, she said. Yeah, absolutely. I've met random folks in Bear Nation in the wild. We're everywhere, and I love it. Yeah, dude, I love meeting Bear Nation. It's so cool.
It's so unique, isn't it?
And you like know that they get it.
Yeah.
You know that they're not stupid, and they're just like cool people. Most of the time, every now and then you get a weirdo. That'll happen on those big jobs. But it's awesome. Dirty Civilian 87 says, I don't even use my discount. Dude,
That's so cool.
That's so cool. Bless you, bro. That's really cool.
You know what? A lot of people that I know are patrons don't use it.
Yeah, I actually tried to send a brother
They're like,
today
oh,
a
just
discount.
send it to Grindstone and send it to Caleb House. Like, separate entities. We can't do that.
Yeah, that's how it
legally.
works. But it's really cool because it shows us that you guys see how hard we work to provide this for you and that you want to pay full price. So, even when I advertise for Refuge Medical on our on the podcast or something like that, I never give you guys a discount code even though I could, because I think that you should pay full price.
Right.
The stuff is awesome and the teams here work very, very hard to make sure that you have it. So that's a good one.
I haven't gotten any
No
questions.
questions yet.
Dang, it's like really slowed down.
Got one more minute.
Right
Anybody?
here for you.
If you guys have been wondering something, here's your time to ask. It's okay. I need to get my Caleb House t-shirt so I can go find Wild Bear Nationals easier. Can you do
Ooh.
a rundown on the Woodsman?
Yep,
kit?
let me get it.
Yup.
Ow.
Yeah, get your Caleb House t-shirt. The Caleb House shirts are awesome because all the proceeds from those shirts go to
you have
Caleb
them
House
stuff already.
actual.
Cool.
Give me the Woodsman.
That's the Forester. That's the Woodsman.
All right, so we got the Woodsman right here. This is an awesome American-made leather pouch. These cows are from here. I think that's a Texas cow. That's what it smells like.
Hank. His name is Hank.
Hank, this is the cow Hank. If that offends you, bye. So anyways, like I was saying, if that offends you, wait till you see what I do to cows. You're gonna love it.
Oh.
And so Just a Nazarene Leather Company is, I eat them more. is
Oh,
what I
like,
do. I eat them.
okay.
Your face got weird. I eat
'Cause
them.
like
I
it-
just thought of a 72-ounce steak.
Yeah, dude. I just
Give
thought
me
like,
some prime
Why am I
rib. Like,
hungry?
let's do
Like,
this.
so we did a big burn seal of the Refuge Tree of Life right here. Once you open it up, right on top you have a soft tea tourniquet for easy accessibility. Obviously you would open that up and stage it. And then in the back you have a slit kit, right? And so this is your EDC capability, and you can carry this on a feller's belt, you can carry this on a motorcycle, you can carry this on your Renfest outfit, whatever it may be. You can also just get these pouches. They're freaking dope. And they're
They
like,
are so
they're
nice.
way nice too.
I like smelled it earlier.
You
I was
know what?
packing one up and I was like,
If you're
like-
some really nice office lawyer, corporate executive, or what have you, this is a great kit for you. Not everybody wants ballistic nylon sitting on their desk or their shelf.
And it's
This
classy.
is classy.
and if the red is not
Very
your
nice.
jam, it actually comes with the
Super high
black.
quality.
It comes
Yeah.
with the black thread as well. That's
Yes.
like less,
Yes,
pops.
absolutely.
Yeah. And then Forester here too. A little bit bigger kit on this one with the Forester. Still snap for your belt line here if you want to attach it to a belt line, feller's belt, whatever it may be. Get it over your dongle. You got a pop kit that you pull straight up. Boom, deploys your pop kit. It's your standard top handle pop kit. So it's going to have all of your pop kit components. as well as you've got a cat Gen 7 right here too. So a little bit of versatility and variety with these kits. Now you can get just the bag if you wanted to use just the bag because you're like passionate about American made leather. I totally understand that. And so it's dude, we have a sister that like wears one of these all the time and it looks so cool. She was doing it like all Sakot.
Oh really?
Yeah, dude. And it's
Oh, I know who you're talking
Wow,
about.
I'm so
She's one of my
oblivious.
favorite people.
her husband works here. Well, that didn't help because that's not. They all are married.
I mean,
Right,
how
thanks.
many husbands work
Okay.
here?
So with that, these
One
are
unmarried guy.
super great kits, American made. Go support. This is we're building up just a Nazarene Leather Company right now because they do such great work. It's so clean.
It really is
It's
quality.
so clean. And guys, we talked at length about doing vegan leather
Oh.
versus real leather. Vegan
Stop
leather.
calling it vegan leather. Just call it faux.
Yeah. So vegan leather is the fancy way to say plastic.
Stupid. That's gonna end up peeling off in
Yeah.
a year.
And also does way worse
Unless you take
things
it like
for
a
the
kid.
environment than cows. However, we went against vegan leather because you know what? American ranchers need support right now. We wanted
Yeah.
to build up small ranches, so that's what we're doing with this process here.
Yep.
Is we're continuing to build up small ranches. Did you answer the question about the Bearfac add-on for the?
I
front
just asked him
Velcro
to
part?
ask it again.
Yeah, I don't know what you're talking about, Josephus.
Bob, leak on future kits.
No, you wish. You wish. The future kits are. They,
If you want a
I
link
hope-
on future kits, go get on Patreon and you'll get it just before it releases.
Yeah, we tease stuff here, guys. We teased the tourniquet holster. We've got the tourniquet holster coming here in the next week or two. That's pretty exciting. So we'll have that American-made Kydex tourniquet holster for you guys, for your battle belts or whatever have you. Those will be sweet. Who has the fastest holster draw between the two of you? Me.
Bob, for sure.
Sorry. And he's really quick.
Fred, I didn't even notice it. I'm sorry.
I'm just ridiculously quick. I'm a leather worker. Vegan leather is garbage. Yes, it's plastic.
Have y'all thought about a Velcro patch add-on for Band-Aids, OTC meds to add to the front Velcro part of the Bearfac? I mean, that's kind of the boogie, but it's not Velcro.
Yes, we have thought about that. The problem with that is it's not going to be stable enough for transport. One of the big things is if I take this guy right here, right, like so, and I just,
Bye, Kit.
nothing came off of it, right? If I drag that through something, nothing's coming off of it. But if I hook something just by Velcro, it's not going to be secure enough. And so for us, we want it to be able to work all the way at the top end, all the way down to the bottom end for the end user. So it doesn't matter if it's a boo-boo kit, it doesn't matter if it's a bare min, it doesn't matter if it's a stomp bag.
Right.
It should be able to handle extreme, austere environments because we don't get to decide the conditions of our emergency.
I mean, besides something like that, just within that idea, just taking it from the car to the situation that needs rendered aid at hand, right? You could bump the A panel and it just falls right off. But where'd that thing go?
Now,
Where'd it go?
I will tell you, at the top of your Bearfac is an elastic loop.
Yep.
Right
Yeah.
here. And in the lid, in the top of your Bearfac, is room for you to do a couple of different things. One, you can put a soft tee right here. It'll hold it. Ask me how I know. The other thing is if you had a boogie, right, you can put a boogie right here, and that'll also hold it. It'll also hold like a boo-boo gauze or a Band-Aid bag.
I keep quick clot on mine.
Quick clot, whatever it may be. All of those are great options to where you can just boom right there in that elastic, and then once you take the lid off your Bearfac, it's sitting there right on top for you.
Yeah.
So hopefully that helps. I know it's not hook and loop on the outside, but still it's inside, it's a little bit more secure, and so we're trying to think of it for you. I just convinced a lot of our local officers to carry a Schlichman for children. They liked it after the demonstration. Based,
Nice.
prepared, citizen.
Heck yeah.
We need proof of this. Proof of what?
Y'all's draw. No, we're not allowed to draw in the
No,
office.
we can't do that.
I changed the rules.
We just threw it across the room, it's okay.
I was proving a point, the durability.
Well, hey, just to speak on that, remember before we got the Shart and our shears were just through the molly, and those were people were having like we had a guy that was on a motorcycle and his shears just like they were gone.
They yeeted. They yeeted
And
themselves
they were
out.
tucked in through the molly, so like that just goes to show if it's not attached securely, like that's why we came up with the Shart.
Yep.
Yeah, if it's an emergency, if it's planned, just plan how to react. I love Patreon. Bear is a dedicated mofo. Yeah, he is. Yes, he is. I stuffed band-aids and little gauze in the pockets of all of our bear packs. It works. Yeah, you can throw like little bags. There's still room in the back to throw a couple of little band-aid bags and stuff. Guys, we have like band-aid bags, OTC meds, adventure wipes. All that stuff is in the store. You can grab those little bags. If they're not in stock right now, just hit the notify me button. It's probably because Jadis is packing them right now. And he's probably like sweating doing so.
Working on it all
That's
day long.
that's something to mention too, is that when you hit the notify me button, we get shown how many people are waiting for an item, and like if you don't, once it emails you, right now at least, you may only have a window to get stuff because it will go back out of stock, and then you will have to go. You'll be back on the
Just
notify me
other day,
list.
We had a situation where an email got sent out, hey, surgical buckets are back in stock. We're sold out. That.
Yeah. Oh, rapidly.
The notify me, like if you want to email in or call in, hey, when is this going to be back in stock? Happens to me all the time. I manage customer service, right? But with that said, the only answer is put your email in to notify me, because the moment Britt puts in stock, that's what she does, enter, you get the email.
Yep.
That moment.
That makes sense. Thanks, y'all. Are the best. Awesome. Well, with that, guys, we're going to go ahead and end the stream. I got stuff to do. Heaps got stuff to do. We want to get your packages out to y'all. We love you with all of our hearts. We hope and pray that you're having an awesome day. Remember, Yeshua is the Messiah. He did die to redeem your soul. So put your faith and trust in him, because he's kind of the cat's pajamas.
He's pretty cool.
And then with that, please carry an effing tourniquet. Love y'all. Shalom.
Shalom.
I always sing the A-Team theme song, hoping that I get banned. It is such a good song.